This is BBC World News Today. I'm Geeta. Our top. Hello and welcome to World News Today. More than 30 people are missing after a collision between an oil tanker and a cargo ship off the east coast of China. It's the worst disaster of its kind for many years. Well, the tanker remains on fire and 136,000 barrels of oil worth around $60 million is either burning or spilling into the sea. Andy Moore reports. An explosion in Syria's northwestern city of Idlib has killed at least 18 people, according to a monitoring. Well, we can speak now for the latest to Joshua Landis. He's the director of the Centre for Middle East Studies at the University of Oklahoma and author of the blog Syria Comment. He joins me now from Arezzo in Italy. Thanks so much for joining us. What do you make of what is going on, first of all, in the Idlib? Now, the former Egyptian Prime Minister Ahmed Shafiq has said he will not run in this year's presidential election. The statement was published on his Twitter. Let's take a look now at some of the other stories making the news this hour. Now, the BBC's China editor Carrie Gracie has resigned from her post, citing a lack of equal pay compared with male colleagues. Do stay with us here on BBC World News. Much more ahead. The sport. This is BBC World News Today. I'm Geeta Murthy with the latest. Now, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel has begun what may be her last chance to build a stable government coalition and end months of political stalemate following September's election. On the talks, I'm joined now from Dresden by Ulrich Buenker, a political analyst and professor in European Studies at Stanford University. Professor, thanks for joining us. How critical are these talks? Germany, of course, key to a stable Europe.
You're welcome.
Now, pressure also here on the British Prime Minister Theresa May, who's confirmed there will be a cabinet reshuffle on Monday. The Labour opposition has called the planned reshuffle little more than a desperate PR exercise. Here's our political correspondent, Eleanor Garnier. This is BBC World News Today. I'm Geeta Murthy. Our top stories. Hello and welcome to World News Today. Tens of thousands of Tunisians have taken part in fresh protests against austerity on the day that the country marks the 7th anniversary of the uprising which led to the Arab Spring. But there's been no repeat of last week's violence, which resulted in more than 800 arrests. Flag-waving demonstrators chanted anti-government slogans in the capital, Tunis, alongside pro-government crowds marking the ousting of Tunisia's former leader 7 years ago. Well, that revolt sparked uprisings across the Arab world. Our correspondent Mark Lowen reports now from Tunis. Rana Jawad there. Two of the world's leading fashion photographers have been suspended from working for Vogue and other magazines owned by the publishing house Condé Nast. The New York Times has published a series of allegations against Mario Testino and Bruce Weber, claiming that they sexually harassed young male models. They both deny the claims. Adina Campbell has this report. Charlotte Janssen speaking to me a little earlier. Let's have a look now at some of the other stories making the news today. The US official leading the inquiry into how a warning of an imminent missile attack was mistakenly sent to people in Hawaii says the state doesn't have to be have reasonable safeguards to prevent such an error. The false alert on Saturday triggered widespread panic. Tiffany Wertheimer reports. Now, you may remember the story of the former colonel in the Russian Secret Service who was killed in London in a notorious murder case in 2006. Alexander Litvinenko was poisoned with the highly radioactive substance polonium-210. A public inquiry in 2016 concluded that his murder was an FSB operation and that President Putin probably approved it. Well, more than 10 years after his death, the BBC's Witness programme caught up with his wife, Marina. Marina Litvinenko there, speaking to the BBC's Witness programme. Let's catch up now with all the sport. Torsten Tollett is updating us. Hi. Lovely, thanks very much indeed. Well, of course, all the latest on the news stories that we've got for you on the websites. And you can reach me on Twitter. I'm at Geeta Murthy. I'm back with the headlines in just a few minutes. This is BBC News. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.